Hey, what's good, fam? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Actually driving home from Vestavia Hills today. Nick Saban had his annual Nick's Kids golf event at Old Overton Golf Course. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We're coming podcast style. I love golf. I think I've talked about that many times. I actually just recently joined the Alabama Amateur Golf Tour. So every 2 weekends during the summertime, I'm going to different courses in Alabama and I'm competing. I love to compete. Went down to Lagoon Park a couple weeks ago in Montgomery. That course was difficult. My goodness. I'm telling you, the fairways were like 40 yards apart. And I play at North River where it's difficult. But Lagoon Park ate me up. Today, Nick Saban talked about the Nick's Kids Foundation. And I think sometimes we're so enamored by what Coach Saban has to say about college football, and rightfully so. But Miss Terry, she drives a lot of the operation in terms of giving back. And $12 million given back is pretty incredible. And what Coach Saban and Miss Terry are doing in terms of the Saban Science Center is going to be absolutely phenomenal to help children and teachers both advance. I love it. So I don't like to lose sight of that. Coach Saban did talk about his recent trip to Italy. He said that he got Roll Tides in Florence, Venice, Rome, the Amalfi Coast. I went to the Amalfi Coast several years ago with my family. It's unbelievable. Probably the most amazing place I've ever been in my life. And Saban's talking about the brand, right? The Roll Tide. And of course it is Saban. And of course it is Roll Tide. He said he got some jilts, as he put it, from other SEC programs, right? But love to see it. Love to see Coach Saban getting in some vacation time before SEC spring meetings, which will be down in Destin here in a couple weeks. Coach Saban was asked about Tony Mitchell. As you know, Tony Mitchell, the 5-star out of the class of 2023, was arrested earlier this year on a drug and weapons charge. And that case is still going through the process, the proceedings, and Coach Saban said that he did not have an update on Tony Mitchell. And when he does have an update on Tony Mitchell, they will bring that to us meaning the media. So we will post that update once we know more on Tony Mitchell. Later on this week, you do get some guys on campus. Trey Amos, Jalen Key, Keon Keeley, Yanzi Pereira, Connor Talty, and Richard Young. All those guys will be on campus by the end of this week. Huge upgrades for Alabama's incredible class of 2023. Just guys keep coming in. Can't wait to see Yanzi and Keon Keeley, right? What those guys are going to bring to that already stacked Alabama defense, especially, kind of from the edge rusher perspective. I know we got Dallas Turner coming back and Chris Broswell, but man, it'd be amazing to see some of these guys push. I would assume Chris Broswell. I mean, you posted the footage of Dallas Turner today. He looks phenomenal. Top 10 pick for sure in the 2024 draft. Him and Kool-Aid, right? Those are the guys that are going to go off the board in 2024, along with, I would imagine, J.C. Latham. Coach Saban was asked about the 2 transfers and said that since they are not on campus, he can't comment on the transfers. I would have loved to hear what Coach Saban had to say about Jalen Key and Trey Amos, just like you. And I'm interested to see how Alabama builds up that secondary. And if they do move Malachi Moore back to safety and maybe slide in Jalen Key at the star position, maybe that's what they're going to do. And then when they go dime and have all those DBs on the field, maybe that's when they bring Trey Amos, right? So I think going into this year, I mean, we don't even know really how good Amos is going to be until we start seeing him practicing and start seeing him going up against, the Alabama wide receivers. Then can we gauge if there is a position battle between, I would imagine, Terrion Arnold and Trey Amos. So right now, the way I have it slotted is Terrion Arnold and Kool-Aid. Those are your DBs. Coach Saban was also asked about the quarterback room and having all 5 of those quarterbacks on the roster. Coach Saban reiterated this word, competition. Competition makes products better. And when we're talking about the product, we're talking about the quarterback room. That quarterback room needs improvement. And there's nothing that will inspire an individual more than competition. I promise you. Competition is not a bad thing. Now, who is going to be victorious in terms of winning that quarterback battle? I think we clearly have a 3-horse race. If they didn't think that Tyler Buchner could come in and win that starting spot, and if Tyler Buchner himself didn't think that he could come in and win, he wouldn't be coming to Alabama. Thus, Jalen Milroe feels that it's his team because he started a game last year when Alabama needed a quarterback to step up. Ty Simpson feels that it's his team because he's progressed. His thumb is healthy. He looks to have put on some really good weight. The footage that we've seen of Ty Simpson has been very, very promising. Very promising. He's healed. He's put on weight. He's ready to go. And then you have Tyler Buchner, who feels that it's his team because he is coming in from Notre Dame, and no transfer, especially of his caliber, is going to come in and say, hey, that's a great place to be second fiddle. No, every time a transfer comes in, they're coming with the mentality that I'm taking somebody's position. So Tyler Buchner, in his mindset, is coming to be the starting quarterback at the University of Alabama. Competition makes all of those quarterbacks better. That is the most important thing because that quarterback room does need to develop. Even with the young guys, Holstein and Lonergan, those guys need improvement. Coach Saban said that they have been having some off-season Zooms. And what that tells me is that Tommy Rees and the quarterback room, those guys are going together. They are getting together and they are going through film. They are going through the playbook. They are looking at what went right, what went wrong, where they could improve in springtime. Coach Saban looks fantastic. Not because he just got back from a trip to Italy. I think he looks great, honestly. I think this is the prime of his life. Coach Saban was asked about what rule changes or what he'd like to see implemented or discussed, within college football. As I mentioned, the SEC media days during the springtime is coming up here in a couple weeks in Destin. Saban talked about NIL and talked about pay for play. Coach Saban said he loves the fact that players can get paid. He appreciates that part of the game, but he doesn't want it to become a pay for play only. And he wants college football to still have that pageantry of where you come to, for example, Alabama, and you have your education and you have your athletics. Doesn't want it to become you're coming to school to get paid and then to play. Because I think we're towing with a very sensitive line right now in the world of college football. You don't play, I'm going to go somewhere else and get NIL money where I could maybe play or at least get my deal and sit the bench. And this is the world that we live in, especially now with the transfer portal. You don't play, you don't wait anymore. There's no wait your turn. Think about if the transfer portal had been where it is now when Mac Jones was sitting on the bench. Alabama would have never had him run the entire offense during that 2020 season. And that was a magical campaign. He could have left at any moment. He could have transferred out if we're talking present day. So I don't think waiting your turn exists anymore. I think it's you go where you can immediately play. And look, that's what coaches do. And now players are doing the same thing, right? Nobody ever gripes when coaches assistant coaches are leaving, right? Because we're kind of accustomed to it. But now that players are doing it, starting to raise eyebrows because the fanatic in you, the fan, is like, hey, I want that player to stay because we need a wide receiver at that particular position, where the player is thinking, man, I got to go get mine while the getting's good. So Coach Saban wants to talk about that competitive advantage in college football. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you for liking, subscribing. I know it's May. We're going to get through May. We're going to get through June. And then we're going to get to SEC Media Days, which is July 17th in Nashville, Tennessee. It's kind of the kickoff to the 2023 college football season. I appreciate you guys staying with me on the channel. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. You can become a member, a fan funder of this channel by hitting the join button at the bottom of this screen. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Well, I'm actually like in the middle of Birmingham and Bama. I'm like kind of by the Mercedes-Benz manufacturing plant. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next video. Thank you very much for watching and subscribing.